Hi there, welcome to the Q&A about the Kind Fabric course. This is going to be just a two-camera info video that I hope I'm going to be covering all the kind of questions that I've come across as people have been curious about the course. But first of all, I want to start off with, why should you consider this course anyway? The Kind Fabric course is set up to really make the most of the years of experience that I have in working with artisanal textiles in Bangladesh. My name is Jackie Corlett, and I first moved to Bangladesh in 1989. Certainly got hooked on fair trade handwoven textiles by the end of my first year, and obviously still am, because I continue to be committed to promoting the incredible work that handweavers do in Bangladesh. And now, in this era of sustainability and really wanting much more transparent supply chains, I really feel that handwoven fabrics have a place in our sourcing options that they never necessarily had before, because they always had this romantic vision of being made in villages that were very rural and gorgeous settings and things like that. And all that is true. But it is also true that handloom fabric is the most ancient way of sourcing fabrics, and ultimately the most sustainable way of sourcing fabric, because inherently it is zero carbon because it's woven by hand, but all the processes involved in preparing the loom also are done by hand and within communities. So this makes handwoven fabrics sustainable in a field of sustainability concerns that is not necessarily addressed by most of the fabrics that you have available to you as sustainable fabrics. There are a lot of wonderful works going on in developing materials of different kinds that are much more sustainable, regenerative, biodegradable, all of these good things. But this social aspect, this people part of the people and planet friendly fabrics, doesn't get much of a say. And that's what I really want to bring to the table in what we offer as a sustainable fabric for designers to move ahead with. There are any number of other good reasons for to be taking this course, but one of the main ones really is to begin to integrate into our sustainability conversation a really deep commitment to the people part of what it takes to make sustainable fabrics happen. So with that said, I want to go through a few questions that people have voiced before, and if you have any others, do feel free to let me know about them either now or at any other point. There's always links to book a call with me, get on email, whatever works best for you. So about the course content, what types of sustainable fabrics will you learn about? Well, as I just mentioned, our focus at Kind Fabric really is about the kinds of fabric that can be produced by hand by using these amazing God-given creative pieces that are in our hands. And so when we come to talking about sustainable fabrics in Kind Fabric, they are all going to be handcrafted fabrics of one sort or another. What differs is the materials that they are made from. So the main fabrics that we work with are created with yarns sourced from cyclo-recycled fibers, which is a company in Bangladesh creating recycled yarns from garment factory waste. Now, you know the tonnage of fabric that goes through the garment industry in Bangladesh. All of that cutting table scrap that gets thrown into landfill, primarily. Cyclo contracts with different garment factories, and they create a linkage that takes the waste into their unit, breaks it down into fiber, and then twists that fiber into new yarn. Now, the beauty of this is that if, for example, you have a whole load of blue fabric scraps coming in, those blue fabric scraps don't lose their color in the process. Those blue fabric scraps become blue fiber, become blue yarn, and ultimately blue fabric without any new dyeing in the process. The eco-toxicity saved is phenomenal just because of that one element, let alone the fact that we're diverting waste. So that is the main fabric that we work with. Also available are weavers who are working with organic cotton, got certified organic cotton, and also they are working with other natural fibers too. So we can work at both ends of the spectrum. In terms of dyes, as I said, the recycled don't need any dyes, but what we do is we give you a palette of the yarns that are already available. It's about a dozen or so. But with the other dye, with the natural fibers, we can go from natural dyes through to azo-free dyes, that's non-carcinogenic colored dyes. So then it's up to you to kind of get the palette sorted out that you want for that. Next question. Does the course cover sourcing ethical suppliers and materials? Absolutely, it does. One of the main reasons I've set up Kind Fabric is so that you, as a designer, can have complete peace of mind when it comes to where do my fabrics come from, who's making them, what's involved in making them, and how am I going to get hold of them? These things are absolutely transparent in our process. You will get to meet, not personally, but you will, through the connections that I have, we'll get to be introduced to the weavers at Hand Touch in the northern part of Bangladesh and the weavers at Swallows in the western part of Bangladesh. These are the two groups that I work with. Both are fair trade certified, and both work with both women and men to be able to create the fabrics that we use. Along with the fabric manufacturing, At Swallows, they also have a small batch manufacturing unit for garments that's been up and running for well over a decade more, probably closer to 20 years, actually. I have known this group since I very first was in Bangladesh in 1989. And so there's a way in which this relationship is so well established and embedded that we can move ahead with confidence for any small batch manufacturing you have in mind. If you need larger scale manufacturing, I also have connections in Bangladesh. Did you know that of the 10 LEED certified factories, garment factories in the world, 7 of them are in Bangladesh? Bangladesh is really shaping up its game when it comes to the garment industry and what's required. Whole more conversations on that when you come on the course. But we also have Motif's own small batch unit for accessories. So if you have purses, bags, home accessories, anything like this, then we at Motif can actually guarantee excellent production in a timely manner with your fabrics for those items too. Will I learn techniques for working with delicate or specialty fabrics like handloom textiles? What you will learn as we go through this is a very simple design system called Plaidmaker. It's an open source system, and it allows you to be able to create handwoven fabrics of different weights. Now, depending on if you're going with the recycled yarns, we tend to kind of bottom out at maybe a 4-ounce type fabric, and then we'll kind of work up to about an 8-ounce. So when we're doing that, then we have yarns and fabrics in place that meet those specifications. Textures are possible within that. The much finer fabrics, of course, can be woven on with the cotton yarns. And so it's possible for us to develop those as well. Of course, I prefer to stay with the natural fibers wherever possible. So we can always explore those together as well. But essentially, we work on 2 shaft looms. So it's a plain weave, a plain fabric using color, pattern, and texture to create your designs. Okay. Now about the practical benefits of the Kind Fabric course. How can this course help me improve my design process for sustainable fashion? This is a key question. Why? Because I believe, and what I encourage in all the designers who come and work with us, as designers, we are inherently creative problem solvers. And so what that means is that, I mean, you know it, don't you? We as designers, we're inherently optimistic people. We want there to be good solutions for everything that we're a part of. And so when we do that, when we enter into that process, because we're doing that with a sustainable fashion lens coming in, we want our impact to have the most benefit possible. And this is why I believe when we come to designing as sustainable designers, it's not simply a case of swapping out our unsustainable fabrics for sustainable ones and just looking to source from different suppliers. I mean, I'm not knocking that, obviously that's good. But what we really need to do is shift our design practice. We need to engage in a different kind of design practice so that our input truly can be leveraging an impact way beyond what we can just by simply switching out our fabrics. Now, what does that mean in reality? When you look to engage with the handwoven and the handmade, there is going to be a lead time there that has to be factored into your design process. So what we're doing at Kind Fabric is we're setting up in the Kind Fabric course the kind of runway to getting your fabrics actually on board. So in this 6 weeks, you will go through creating your mood board, which I'm sure you're familiar with, creating your mood board, creating the design in the fabric, learning about the yarns, learning about the producers, and ultimately learning about the impact that your design choices are having as you create your fabric. Then your order goes into production. Now that will take approximately 3 to 4 months to go into production. So you've got about a month and a half in your run-up, then it's about 3 to 4 months to produce the fabric. Then your fabric will be delivered to wherever it is that you need your production to happen. And that's when you engage in the rest of your production schedule. So that is very important to factor in. And what I find is that a number of designers now come back regularly, which you can do for free. You join in the course again whenever you want to, and they use it as a real anchor in their design production schedule. Now, obviously, we can work outside of that. You're not bound to the Kind Fabric course running every quarter. But I do recommend that everybody that I work with takes this course at least once, so that you really do get the full understanding of where we're coming from and what it is that you are actually part of changing in the fashion industry and in the world just by choosing handwoven fabrics. Okay, so that's, I think, really important to think about in terms of your design process being affected by this course. Will I get resources or supplier contacts to support my designs? Yes, absolutely. I am here as, like I said, years of experience working with handcrafted fabrics and products. If it is that you want to just make a connection with a supplier and go out on your own, I can make those connections happen. Absolutely no problem at all with that. So no gatekeeping here. If you just let me know the kind of resource you're looking for, and I can go around within my network and find out at least one, maybe 2 or 3 possibles for you to work with. So absolutely, we can go forward on that. Does the course include tips for ensuring supply chain transparency? Yes, is my 100% answer to this, because transparency happens when you are satisfied that your questions have been answered. And we have relationship with all the people in our supply chain that is established over many years. And so even if it's a question that I've not asked before or dealt in with before, I have complete confidence that it's a question that I can move ahead with any one of the suppliers that we work with. So please feel free about engaging in your questions. Now, about the actual learning experience of the course. All right, is the course self-paced, or will there be live sessions? Excellent question, because a lot of courses now are running on a self-paced system. At the moment, the way in which Kind Fabric runs is that we have live sessions like this once a week. So it's on Zoom, and all the participants are there together, and we just have a blast kind of reviewing what's happened the week before, commenting on each other's progress, digging into what's there for the week, and setting ourselves up for what's to come in the following week. So that happens from 10 a.m. till 11:30 usually. If people have to take off at any other time before that, it's fine. There's always recordings of the sessions, so you can be rest assured you won't miss anything. And that they happen on Tuesday mornings, January, April, August, and October. So that's when the in-person sessions are going to run. What I am working out now is that the modules of this Kind Fabric course are going to be available as a series for a self-paced entry into this in-person module. So in order to take the in-person one, which helps you actually design your fabric and get it into production, you will need to take all the other ones ahead of time. But for now, it's all included in this one package of live sessions that also has one-on-one calls with me during the week and any other time you need, so that we can really get your design nailed down and your fabrics underway. Do I need prior experience with textile design or sustainable materials? Actually, no, you don't. That might sound a bit odd if I'm asking you to design fabric, but the truth is, if you can design a stripe, you can design a woven fabric. It is that simple. What we work together with, once we've had fun with the Plaid Maker software and really worked out the great design that you're going to come up with that really matches where your collection's going, your mood boards, the textures you're looking for, all of that good stuff, then we move ahead into working together. And it's my experience that will be part of making your fabric come to life, along with the incredible experience of the hand weavers that I work with. And so it's between us, we're able to figure out all the actual technicalities that create your fabric. But for you to design it, we work together on it. So don't worry about that. It's very, very simple. What kind of support or feedback will I get during the course? Well, as I just mentioned, there's the one-on-one stuff with me each week, but also what really starts to happen is a fabulous camaraderie that develops between the designers who are in the group together. So what happens then is that as you join in the Kind Fabric Collective, which is the platform that I'm creating as we speak, it's a platform that allows you to engage with other designers directly who are on the course. I don't have to be involved. There doesn't have to be a Zoom room. You can just make your own connections happen, and you don't have to be fielding emails from different places or anything else. It's a very succinct network of like-minded creatives who are on the course, who might have done the course in the past, and who are yet to do it. So feel free to join in the Kind Fabric Collective. I'll put the links for that around as well. So you can join that even before you get on the course. And that's the kind of camaraderie that we have there. Now about some outcomes and results. Will this course help me align my designs with eco-conscious certifications or standards? This is a really good point, because obviously it's the accreditations that we have that give you the assurance that we are who we say we are. And so in terms of fair trade, in Bangladesh, Swallows is independently certified by the World Fair Trade Organization. Hand Touch and Motif in Bangladesh is certified fair trade through the local accreditation agency called ECOTA, and ECOTA itself is accredited by the World Fair Trade Organization. In terms of the yarns that are supplied, the yarns created by Cyclo are GRS certified, and a number of other, the Global Recycled Standard certification is theirs, and a number of others that you can see on their site. And the GOTS certification comes through the sourcing agent of the organic cotton. In Bangladesh, we do not grow our own organic cotton as yet. I know there are some people experimenting with it, but it is imported, and the certification comes through there. So yeah, we have a lot of ways in which accreditation can be validated. So please, again, ask any questions that you need to on that score. And finally, what's the biggest takeaway you can expect from this course? I would hope that your biggest takeaway is going to see the incredible impact you as a designer can have on the lives of people and on the environment when you choose to engage your creativity in a different way. I know sourcing fabric off the shelf from swatches, whatever, that's the norm, absolutely the norm. To think about creating your own hand-woven fabric design, I know, must seem a bit daunting. Why would I? But honestly, when you consider the exponentially high social impact that you can have when creating fabrics with hand-woven materials, that is just beyond, because people are educating their families, they are kept safe from trafficking. I can unpack all of that in the course. Businesses just begin to build. They build around each other, and rural communities get much, much stronger as these hand-woven communities actually begin to be strong in operation. So there it is for the... So I can tell you that the exponentially high impact you have socially is well worth you thinking creatively about how to source your fabrics. When rural communities are involved in handloom production, there are over 12 steps pre-weaving that have to be accomplished, and they are done by at least 2 to 3 people per step. So the amount of industry and employment that is generated in the community because of handloom manufacture, this allows communities and families to educate their children well, to build up other businesses and local economies. It actually increases security of these families because especially the menfolk do not have to be disappearing off to the cities in order to get employment, leaving their families vulnerable to, it's a horrible thing to say, but vulnerable to traffickers primarily. Families actually remain together and are secure and built, and all their earnings go into building up their local economies. So socially, there is a phenomenal plus to being able to create your own fabric with your own creativity. Added to that is the phenomenally low environmental impact, because when you're using, particularly when you're using zero waste yarns with zero toxicity in the dyeing and zero carbon in the production of the actual fabric, truly, I cannot imagine a more sustainable fabric to be out there. So please, when you consider the big takeaway that you can have from this course, in some ways, I want it to change your life. And other participants have said this. It has changed their lives. It's changed their entire outlook on what it means to be a designer in these days, because you have the creative skills to make a difference in the lives that other people are living and your own, because it raises awareness at all kinds of level in ourselves once we know the people who are involved in our business. And we are here to support you 100%. So please consider joining the Kind Fabric course for your fabrics, for sourcing your fabrics, and be prepared to engage in a journey that is going to reap massive benefits for you, for your business, as you are able to stand in alignment with your values with much more integrity, but also for the people involved in their production and the spaces in which they are produced. So I look forward to hearing from you. Any other questions, feel free to drop me a line whenever you can. Take care. Bye.